Good morning, Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome to our virtual sanctuary. That's true. You know there are such things. A sky so blue. There are such things. Someone to whisper, darling, you're a guiding star. Not caring what you want, but just who you are. A peaceful sky. Oh, there are such things. A rainbow high, where heaven sings. So have a little faith and trust in what tomorrow brings. You'll reach a star, because there are such things. Not caring what you own, I just care who you are. Oh, a peaceful sky. Oh, I know there are such things. There are always rainbows high. Oh, where heaven sings. Oh, so have a little faith and trust in what tomorrow brings. 'Cause you'll reach that star. You're gonna always reach that star. 'Cause darling, you are that star. And you are such things.
Good morning, everyone. How amazing was that? How's everybody doing? I invite everyone that has joined the live stream to interact with us. Chime in, let us know how you're doing. Interact with each other, mix it up, have some fun. So, to get started, I invite you to just breathe and slow down a little bit. Just relax. If you have any sense of any kind of burden or any kind of stress, just relax and let it flow from your body. And rest in that peace, knowing that God truly is all that there is. That it's always the greatest pleasure of Father and Mother God to give us the kingdom. Not just some little piece of it, but the entirety of it, the whole thing. It's always there for us. God always has our back. And it's so nice to be able to come together in community in this way. And I'm personally thinking that it's a little bit tough to keep the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living from having some church.
Amen.
Thank you. Even though we may not be physically right here together in this space, Ernest Holmes said, a person in New York can treat for a person in Los Angeles. And the underlying truth is that there is no separation between God or any of us. We are always connected, always, all the time. My heart goes out with love to all the mothers and fathers, sisters, all around our planet who have been impacted by this pandemic. And I know this can be a time that can bring the experience of great hardship, but this is a time where it's almost an invitation, where all of us can go deeper, we can connect deeper, and we can reach a stronger understanding of who we really are and what we really represent. Everything we can think of that we could possibly want, we already are. God is and I am. God is and we are. And any sense of joy that we want, we already are. We already have it. Love, compassion, abundance, peace, calm, it's what we're made of. It's our birthright. Any sense of health that we might be seeking, it's ours. And our question for ourselves is, what can we connect with? What can we expand to? And this right here, this is a time to know the magnificence that we really are and to live and act from that place of knowing to bring the full treasures of the Creator into this experience. And what we really are is love in action. And I'm so grateful for God for working through the entirety of humankind for this incredible tool of the internet to offer us this ability to join together. And I give thanks to our amazing musicians, the AV team, and for this community that hangs together and comes together by any means possible. And I feel such gratitude for our ecclesiastical and leadership teams, which have reached out to our community to help stay connected in a time when it could be easy to not feel connected. And I'm so deeply thankful for Reverend Amani, who, when this storm started raging all around us, stays in the truth and in the knowing that all is truly well. And I look forward to her message, as I know that as she stays in connection with Spirit, that Spirit will work through her to deliver words of love and calm and peace and wisdom. And so it is.
All right, there's going to be some words on the screen for you to sing with me. So feel free to sing out right in your living rooms or wherever you find yourself right in this moment. Ah, yeah. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost. forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. No, nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Sing it with me. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Again, we are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Hold that in your heart, y'all.
Living in the heart of God. That is the truth of who we are, and that's the truth of our experience throughout all of life. Today's sacred reading comes from a Unity minister named Reverend Dr. Lynn Unger, who felt the call to speak to the situation we're all facing with COVID-19 and some of the ways we can manage this challenging time, especially by going within and adopting spiritual practices to bring us the peace we all truly have as our birthright. What she wrote is called Pandemic. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel, cease from buying and selling. Give up just for now on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing, pray, touch only those to whom you commit your life, centered down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny it now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has become clear. Do not reach out your hands, reach out your heart. Reach out your heart and reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live. Now join with me, and let's go a little bit deeper. Close your eyes if you're comfortable wherever you are, and notice your breath. Inhale, I am. Exhale, God is. Inhale, I am. Exhale, God is. Inhale, I am. And exhale, God is. Know that Spirit is moving within you. Spirit resides within you just as you reside within Spirit, just as we all reside within Spirit. And know that that peace is unshakable. That peace is yours. That peace is mine. That peace is the truth. That peace is love. I am, and God is.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's relief from a world full of chaos and noise. So for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be heard, and right here in this holy silence I find God and I find myself. In the silence there is peace, and in the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's relief from a world full of chaos and noise. So for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be heard, and right here in this holy moment I find love, I find myself. And I find love, I find myself. Take a deep breath into that, my loves. Because what if this time right now and this moment was a precious moment, was a holy moment that, like Reverend Dr. Lynn Unger shared with us through her beautiful poem, what if we've been invited into a practice of Sabbath together? What if that precious moment, like in the lyric of the song we just sang, that we all walk around waiting for, we're waiting for this invitation into stillness. And right here, in this holy moment, I find God. And more important, I find myself. And so I believe we have all been invited. We've been invited into a precious moment, a holy moment. And like the third step of prayer in the science of mind, affirmative prayer treatment, it is ours to realize, to make real spiritual truth. Because like you've heard me say before, many of you, we are the way God gets here. We are the way Spirit shows up. We are how spiritual truth, how greater truth, how the power and the force of love reveals itself on this planet is through us. so we can stop waiting. We can choose to say yes to this invitation into the silence where I find myself. And you know what's interesting is when we get still, I know it's uncomfortable. I know when we get still and it gets quiet, like the song says, and I hear what could never be heard in all the chaos and noise. But I promise that the very goodness of all that is waits for us there. The very goodness that is the truth of who we are, the very totality of life itself, meets itself in that quiet and in that stillness. And I believe that when we choose to take that invitation and we choose to go into that place in our own being, within, the only place we can meet God, the only place we can actually contact that great beyond. That is exactly how the world we've all been dreaming of gets to come into being. It is exactly how we each say yes to the dreams and the absolute knowing in the center of our being, in the souls of ourselves, in the dreams we have for what we know can be. The power and the capacity to meet those, to rise to those dreams, to those visions of wonder and connectedness and real unity, not just a cute word on a t-shirt or a bumper sticker. We meet that in our own being, and we surrender to it. That's one of the reasons why I have a Sabbath practice. I practice Sabbath every week because I know better than to listen to myself spun up in chaos. I know what happens to me if I don't actively, intentionally pause and carve out the time and the place for me to be with myself and to allow the spirit that is in me to guide me. I want to share with you something from Emma Curtis Hopkins in her book, Mental Practice. She says, in us is the Holy Spirit. We let it speak and think through us. Do not fail to keep some words of truth running in your mind continually. Continually, she said. It is well to have the truth ideas running because they lead the mind out into the events of the day. But when our minds are busy running chatter and chaos and noise, when our minds are busy running fear and panic, which is really easy to do right now, isn't it? Then that is what leads us into the events of the day. And I don't know about you, but I believe this is a moment in history where our invitation to make real what we actually believe, what we really hold deep in our hearts for every single one of us, for this planet, for the world that works for everyone, that deeper truth, I believe when we make the pause, when we commit ourselves deeply to letting truth run through our minds continually, it is the very moment in history that is the game changer we've all been waiting for. And it gets to be a game changer because we say so. It gets to be a turn we take that we can never come back from, creating a more beautiful existence where more love is revealed and made real than ever before. And I believe in us. I believe we've all said yes. I believe we are all taking this moment to lean into that love that resides in our hearts. And like in that poem Paul shared with us earlier, I believe we are all making a promise right now to share the love that we are. Because when I find love, I find myself. And we got to figure out what those words are for ourselves. What are the truths we are going to let run through our minds continually right now? I want you guys to shout out right now on your Facebook feed. Send some words of truth that you are hanging on to or would like to be hanging on to right now. Some words of truth that you can use as an inner and outer mantra. Because, right, we're all at home by ourselves right now for the most part. We can mantra out loud as much as we want. We can be singing out loud as much as we want. A friend of mine who lives in Italy and is quarantined in her house right now just sent out a video yesterday on Facebook dancing it out in her house slippers in her living room. It was fabulous. We get to decide who we want to be in this moment. So put on that Facebook feed. I'm looking at y'all. I'm watching. Share some words. Share some mantras that help us stay grounded in that holy moment, in that precious moment. Share some words that work for you so that it may work for somebody else. Leningar said in her poem, "What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times?" I love this idea. I feel like I have been shouting from the mountaintops for many years now, the practice of Sabbath and the practice of stillness and meditation. We don't have to wait. We get to lean into the invitation. We get to lean into, possibly for many of us, a new way of being, where we are more deeply inwardly connected, maybe than we've ever been. And I'm going to remind you what Emma Curtis Hopkins said, letting the truth ideas run through our minds because they lead the mind out into the event of the day. Imagine a world where we are so prayed up, where we are so centered in the truth of who we are and our divine, authentic knowing and being, that we are led out into the events of the day from that prayer, from that knowing. Imagine that. Imagine what it looks like when you are so centered and you are in continual truth telling, truth thinking, truth knowing in your own mind. That is the entire purpose of prayer. It is the entire purpose of meditation. It is the entire purpose of spiritual practices. To make real these beautiful principles that run through all the faith traditions and philosophies. This inherent knowing that we are connected to one another, that there is only one thing. There is only one carbon-based universe that we belong to. And in all that oneness, we get to promise our greatest selves to one another. We have already been married, y'all. This is an inescapable oneness, an inescapable fabric that we are each a stitch in. And if we want to make real these incredible beliefs and traditions and principles that are ancient and current, we must commit ourselves to being the way forward. The only mystery in mysticism isn't what these truths are. It's how do we align ourselves and keep ourselves centered in them. That's the great mystery. And in this promised time, in this answered prayer we find ourselves in right now, that precious, precious quiet and solitude that many of us have been longing for in our busy, busy, busy lives. It is here right now. And may we each say yes to the invitation to dive more deeply, to know more fully, to stay connected more continually than we ever have before. Because we are needed. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And we have been given an incredible opportunity right now. And I know that we each say yes to it. I also know there can be some stuff in the way. Anybody feeling like they got stuff in the way? Thumbs up on Facebook. Send up a thumbs up. I know. There is some stuff, some shiznit in the way. It's our fear. It's our discomfort in the unknown. I am telling you, it literally feels right now like we are sitting, standing, walking, laying on moving ground. Yes? There is information coming at us minute by minute. There are changes in our day-to-day lives, hour by hour. And I get that that can be scary. But I want to share a profound, wise word. You better chickadee check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. We must be willing in these changing, fluid times to check our own minds, to check our own beliefs. Because when we move out into the events of the day, from that place of fear, from that place of wanting to micromanage life itself, because we're afraid and we're so uncomfortable, we got to check ourselves. So that is one of my mantras that I've been using this week, y'all. Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself. It helps. It helps. It's that reminder when we start spinning and getting in a feedback loop in our own heads, right? It's that reminder to check yourself so that you can move out into the world, so that you can move in your own living room from a place of deep knowing, from the greatest power in the universe that is what you are made of, in that connected, loving place. And so we must be willing, if we are to promise this world our love, we have to be anchored in it. One of the other things I was reading about this week from Emma Curtis Hopkins, known as the teacher of teachers, she said that faith is always associated. Faith is always associated with confidence. Faith is confidence to command. The confidence to command. And what we know when we are making real spiritual truth, right? When we are in a prayer practice, when we are holding ourselves accountable to a vision of good, a vision of knowing more love in our lives, of knowing more connectedness, of knowing more unity. It is deep convictedness and confidence in what we know to be true that is required. And that is what faith is. Faith is knowing that we know what is true. And you know what's interesting is, do you know where that confidence to command through prayer, to command through your own mind, to command in the manifest universe, to command what you know to be true, to reveal itself, to make itself real. That confidence to command comes and rises out of a place of surrender. In order to reach that conviction, in order to reach that absolute knowing, that allows us to command the universe itself, that allows us to be agents of change, that allows us to command healing, that allows us to reveal truth. It only rises from a place of surrender. And what are we surrendering to? We are surrendering to that still, quiet place in the center of our own beings where we meet God. We are surrendering to the truth that we let run in our minds and our hearts continually. And when we surrender to that, when we surrender and just relax into what we know in the depths of our being, we rise from that place confident to command. Each one of us is a healer. Each one of us is a commander of the law. Each one of us has the potential and the possibility and the absolute force of spirit itself to create a world that works for everyone. Each one of us has that. But we don't get to that conviction, to that absolute knowing, that absolute confidence in who and what we are, if we have not surrendered to the pause. If we have not surrendered and rested in our center within. That is where divine guidance comes from. Divine guidance is not some symbolism or serendipity happening out in the world. That's fun and it's cute. Some people call it winks from God. Yay, winks from God. I love them too. But divine guidance comes from inside. Absolute knowing is in us, and it is the only place we know it. It's not in my words. It's not in all the sacred texts. It's not in the self-help books. It is in the pause. It is in the willingness to sit in your own inner world, which I know sometimes is not a fun place to sit. We've got our own internal chaos and noise. That's why we got to chickadee check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. We got to check our own beliefs. We got to check our own thoughts. But if we want to step into the fabulous greatness that we are, we must be willing first to surrender into the greatness that we are. We must be willing to touch the center of our own hearts, the center of our own beings, where I find God, I find myself. And it is from that place, my loves, that we are unstoppable. We command the very universe. We command health to reveal itself. We command connectedness to reveal itself. We command love to reveal itself. From that place, unstoppable. I want to share this funny moment I had yesterday. I was on Facebook, and my sister friend, Bonnie Benton Cruz, who is truly a demonstration and answered prayer for humanity. She is an activist. She is a place of service like I've rarely seen. And she said on Facebook yesterday, a lot of things are closing amid COVID-19. My mouth is not one of them. My mouth is not closed either, as you can see. And I hope that as each of us has already said yes to this invitation to get still and to slow down and to spend some quality time with ourselves and to connect more deeply with our authentic, divine, incredible nature. I hope as we rise from that surrendered place that we command out loud to reveal what is true. Realization defined means an act of becoming fully aware of something as fact. To become fully aware as something as fact. What do we want to become fully aware of right now as we come together in our individual solitudes? Wouldn't you like to be more aware of the truth of who you are? Wouldn't you like to be more aware of the power and the presence of love, capital L love, the greatest power in the universe? And I read up on the Greek roots of the word epiphany. And it means manifestation. It's an experience of a sudden and striking realization. I don't know about you, but this is a ripe time for some epiphanies. This is a ripe time for, like the song says, to hear what could never be heard. This time right now, we are invited into more epiphanies than maybe ever in our lifetime. Which means we are invited for instant manifestation of love. We get to have ahas left and right, above and below, in our own beings. We get to have epiphanies right now because what that means is we get to manifest in a striking appearance what we have known in our hearts all along. That love is truly all there is, that we belong to one another, and that, yes, I promise my love to you. I promise my whole dang self to you, to our lives together, because it is one life. And we are in it together. We rest in each other's hands. And so I know that as I say yes to the invitation of surrendering into the greatness of my own being, I know that you do too. Because I know that I want my hands to be a wonderful place for you to rest. And I know that your hands are a beautiful place for me to rest. And that we are going to be connecting with each other with all this incredible technology in ways that maybe we've never done before. We've never taken the time to realize that we've been gifted with true connection. And we choose to reach out. We choose to share our words. We choose to share our voices. Because like my girl Bunny said, my mouth is not one of the things closed in this time. So I will continue to be a speaker of truth on all the outlets that I can possibly reach. I will continue to speak a word of prayer for anybody who asks me. I am going to send my love all week long to all the beings on this planet and beyond. 'Cause right here, oh, in this precious moment, I find love, and I find myself. I find love, and I find myself. And I know that you do too. I know that in this quiet, in this solitude, in this pause, you find the love that you are. You find the God that you are. You find the Spirit that you are. And you promise it to the world. And you give it in all the ways that your heart is led to give it. And before we move into our time of giving and offering, I have a question for you that I'd love for you to share on the post and chat it up. What does your promised love look like for you this week? What does your promised love feel like to you this week? Share it. Commit yourselves to it. You can get some ideas from one another. And I know that the mission of this center, which is love in action, transforming lives and transforming communities, I know because it is already happening that this promised love has already been moving out into the world. That this love in action through each of us in this community has already shown up. And I want to share some stories before we move into our giving and offering. One of the things that just came to be this week is I couldn't keep track, actually, of all the calls and texts and messages that came in this week with people saying, what can I do? I've got food. I want to take people food. What can I do? I am willing to host a prayer call this week. What can I do? I'll do home visits. The hands shot up in our community left and right. Our AV team has been here for the last 3 days for uncountable hours, making this moment possible. They were at my house trying to see if maybe we would live stream from my living room. And instead, we came up with this beautiful solution, which, if I can be honest, I love this new stage so much, we may be keeping it. But what I want you to know is love is in action at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. And our leadership teams, our congregants, our practitioners, our staff have gone above and beyond the call of duty and will continue to do so. So when you pull out your phones or your checkbooks today or your credit cards, here's what I want you to know. We are not closed for business. We are more open than we've ever been. We are providing more services than we provided a week ago. And it relies upon your giving for us to continue to do this incredible work of transformation, to do this incredible work of being open and adaptable and flexible to meet Spirit where Spirit invites us to, so that we can create services like this, so we can create Zoom classes and online prayer groups. I am so excited about what is blossoming right now in our community. And I need you to help us make that possible so that we can just blow the roof off this virtual joint. So I invite you to text to give. The number should be on your screen. It is 505-847-8431. If you don't already have a text to give account with us, when you dial that number, you will be led through a safe and secure giving platform, and you only have to enter your information the one time. And after that, it's easy breezy. Just text an amount, and it'll come right to us. The other thing you can do if text to give freaks you out is you can go to our website at abqcsl.org and hit the donate button on our homepage. I'll say that again. It's abqcsl.org, and you can click the donate button there, and that's available all week long, both methods of digital giving. And I know that given what has been going on in this community this last week, and in these last hours even, there has been a stepping up that is truly the life of God. There is a revealing of love in action happening right now through this community out into the world that is precious, it is holy, and I know that it continues. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for your support. And we are going to say the affirmation together, and I'm going to tell you again, say it out loud with me. In your living rooms, in your PJs, wherever you find yourself right now, please join me in our giving affirmation. My spiritual practice is gratitude. My demonstration of my gratitude is me giving to my community. I celebrate my abundance with gratitude, and I gratefully celebrate the abundance of my community. I am so grateful for this life, and I am full with love. Ashe, aho, iasies, amen. And so it is. And I hope if you haven't already had a little chair dance, there's a moment right now where we can dance together. So you can join me seated. You can get up on your feet in the privacy of your own home and dance it out. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful, 'cause I trust in God. Sing it! I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. And what are you going to do this week? I surrender. I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. 'Cause I am thankful, so very grateful. And I trust in God. What am I going to do? I surrender. I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so very grateful. I trust in God. So thankful. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I am thankful, so very grateful. I trust in God. Sing it again. What are we? I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I am thankful, so very grateful. I trust in God. I what? I trust in God. Yes. And I trust in God. Amen, amen, amen. I trust in God. And I'm telling you, when we sit in that place that is the very godness of our own being, we get to confidently trust and have faith in the amazing gift that we are. And as we move into the closing of our service today, I wanted to do a little bit of a virtual giving and receiving altar, which is something you've started to do on the feed right now. But what I would love to invite you to do is share right now something you want to move out into the world through your words today. Whether that's love, peace, joy, wellness. Share a word of love out into the world that you can let the folks who are on this feed with you right now and folks who come back to this video today or later this week or later this month, that they can take with them as a truth word to run in their own minds all week long. And here's the other thing that I want you to know about this video is you can come back to this video on our Facebook page, Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. You can also come back to this video on our website, abqcsl.org. And you can come back anytime you need it to pray with JD, to meditate with Paul, to sing and hang out with me and the guys, Rodney Bowe on bass, Arnaldo Acosta on percussion, Robert Mueller on keys. This video is going to be here as a reminder, as a talisman, as a place to come and retouch and ground yourself if you need it. You can send people to it and say, you might need a little prayer. Go watch this video. So know that not only is this video going to be available to you all week long, so are myself, our practitioners, this congregation. If you need prayer support, email us at prayer@abqcsl.org. But you can also use that email, prayer@abqcsl.org, to reach out. If you need help getting your technology together so that you can connect more easily with people from home, we've got folks who are willing to come to your home and make sure your technology is set up in a way that you can use it. If you need food or supplies or someone to go pick up a prescription for you, we've got people on the ready who want to reach out and help you do that. So if there is support that maybe we haven't even thought of yet that you need from us, please reach out. You can phone us at 505-881-4311, and that'll go to a direct voicemail that gets emailed out to our staff, and so we can get that information together for you or find the support that you need and get that to you. And you can email us for whatever support you need right now. prayer@abqcsl.org. And we are going to go into our closing affirmation and closing song. And I want to thank these musicians so much for holding it down for us. And yes, clap. We got, our AV crew is clapping. Yes. So I just want to welcome Rodney Bowe to the microphone for our final song.
Imagine there's no heaven.
And I know you know it, so sing along.
It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm the only one.
I
Oh,
know
someday you will join us, and the world will live as one.
And my loves, take this imagination, bring it into your heart, let it move you into the events of the days and make it real. This is not just our imagination, my darlings. This is the world we are living in. I know that it's true. I know that it is revealing itself absolutely right now. And join me in our closing affirmation, which you'll find on your screen. And I'm going to remind you again, say it out loud. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you again, whether it's on screen or in person. Know that I am with you, that I love you, and we are all here in this together. Let's say the affirmation together. Today, I look past the illusion of human circumstance into the depths of Spirit's reality. And so it is. Thank you. I love you. Be good to each other.